This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform that allows you to build a beautiful, easy-to-use website to reach your customers, sell your products, create content, and so much more. Thanks to Squarespace for supporting this channel. Winning the NFL MVP and the Super Bowl in the same season used to go hand in hand. 5 times in the 90s, the league's most valuable player went on to raise the Lombardi. Emmitt Smith, Steve Young, Brett Favre, Terrell Davis, and in 1999, Kurt Warner. It hasn't happened since. It's one of the strangest phenomena in the NFL. So much so that you could even call it a curse. Let's find out why the league's best player no longer finds final glory. Part 1. More rings, less MVPs. 2 years after Kurt Warner won league and Super Bowl MVP in 1999, it looked like he was about to repeat the feat. After his teammate Marshall Faulk won in 2000, Warner captured the league MVP in 2001, despite throwing 22 picks and led the Rams back to the big game, where they met the upstart New England Patriots. And as Adam Vinatieri's kick fell to earth and began the Patriots dynasty, so too began the curse of the NFL MVP, with Kurt Warner handing it almost directly to Tom Brady. Tom Brady has hoisted 7 Lombardis. He's also won league MVP 3 times, but he's never won league MVP and won a Super Bowl in the same season. 17, Brady won another MVP, but I know this will sound weird. It felt more like a product of Carson Wentz's late season injury than anything else. Yes, Carson Wentz should have won an MVP. Brady was stellar in the regular season, squeaked by Blake Bortles in the AFC title game, then threw for a record 505 yards in Super Bowl 52. But he still got outplayed by this guy and his giant appendage. Brady's won 2 Super Bowls since then, one where he took down league MVP Patrick Mahomes in an overtime thriller in KC, a game which turned heavily on a terrible call that allowed the Patriots to continue a drive when Tom Brady got accidentally breathed on. Had Mahomes not missed 2.5 games in 2019, he might have had a chance to break the curse, but he was edged out by second-year QB Lamar Jackson, who won the MVP and went one and done in the postseason. Maybe that was a blessing in disguise, as Mahomes, sans a regular season MVP, would raise the trophy at the end of the season. There is one more MVP who Brady himself cursed that I haven't mentioned, but we'll get to him in a bit. Part 2, more MVPs, less rings. Of course, Tom Brady does not have the most league MVPs in a career. That distinction belongs to his arch rival, Peyton Manning. 5 times, Manning has been awarded MVP of the regular season, 4 times in Indy and once in Denver when he shattered passing records in 2013. He's also won the Super Bowl twice, once in Indy and once in Denver. Neither coincided with an MVP season. Manning might have had a chance to break the curse in 2003 when he won co-MVP alongside Steve McNair. McNair's Titans didn't make it out of the divisional round, losing to the juggernaut Pats. A week later, Manning's Colts were also bested by the Pats in Foxborough. So ostensibly, Tom Brady defeated the league MVP in back-to-back weeks before going on to win his second Super Bowl. Seriously, Tom Brady again? Manning won the award again in 2004, breaking the touchdown record, only to have his season end once again in Foxborough, this time in the divisional round, amassing just 3 points in the loss. Peyton Manning, of course, got his ring in 2006, but that was the year LaDainian Tomlinson broke the touchdown record and, stop me if you've heard this one before, lost to Tom Brady in the playoffs. Manning won MVP in 2008, then in the playoffs lost to LaDainian Tomlinson in the first round. And he won it again in 2009 before falling to Drew Brees in the Super Bowl, like his whole team fell for what looked like a normal kick to start the second half. Brees, shockingly, never won an MVP. He finished second in MVP voting that year. Manning's best statistical year, 2013, ended in a heap of ashes, courtesy of the Seattle Seahawks. Manning was defeated by second-year quarterback Russell Wilson, whose corny ass has strangely never even received one goddamn MVP vote. Peyton eventually won his second Super Bowl in his final game, the culmination of what was by far the worst season of his career. Manning threw 8 more interceptions than touchdowns in 2015, but was aided by an all-time defense that lifted Denver through the playoffs and into Super Bowl 50, where, naturally, Manning faced that year's MVP Cam Newton, who might have done himself in when he refused to jump on a live grenade. It's just one of several instances where the league MVP ran into a series of unfortunate events, like a stout defense that was playing out of their minds all postseason. Part 3, cursed 4 times over. In his 4 MVP seasons, Rodgers hasn't even advanced to the Super Bowl. The one year Rodgers did make it, and when he finished 6th in MVP voting. A year later, Rodgers put up one of the most efficient seasons in NFL history, tossing 45 touchdowns in 15 games, and took home 96% of the MVP votes in 2011. He lost in the divisional round to a different man. Incidentally, that year, Rodgers beat MVP Adrian Peterson on the way to that disaster. In 2020 and 2021, Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs, asserting himself as an all-timer. Still, Rodgers came away empty, falling in the NFC title game to the Bucs and Tom fucking Brady, and following it up with a divisional round dud against the 49ers. So the curse is alive and well, but let's shore up a few MVPs before we get to the most cursed one of all. In 2002, 37-year-old Rich Gannon won MVP with the Raiders. Gannon only threw 10 interceptions in the regular season, but tossed 5 in the biggest game of his life against the Buccaneers in Super Bowl 37. It didn't help that the opposing team was coached by John Gruden, who basically had the Raiders' offensive playbook. Kind of terrible luck is that? 3 years later, the Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers allowed just 16 points per game in 2005. That same year, Seahawks RB Shaun Alexander rushed for almost 1,900 yards and scored 28 touchdowns, a record at the time. But when the Seahawks met up with the Steel Curtain in Super Bowl 40, the league's best offense couldn't find its footing. Alexander failed to reach pay dirt in the big game, and he contributed to yet another year of the curse. But now let's get to the most cursed MVP of all time. Yes, that Tom Brady is all over this video, and nobody got shafted more by his heroics than this man, Matt Ryan, who in 2016 led a dynamic offense all the way to the Super Bowl, and then led them to what assuredly was a slam dunk win that would have delivered the first Super Bowl to Atlanta, as he surgically guided them to a lead that would become a meme. Yes, Matt Ryan was an NFL MVP and looked every bit the part right up until, well, you know. And so the curse reared its ugly head in the saddest, most epic fashion. So we know what all happened, but why is it that the MVP can't win the Super Bowl? What is the reason behind the curse? There are a few theories that might satisfy this conundrum. First, the MVP is the most valuable player, not the best player on the best team. Peyton Manning was a maestro for the Colts in his 4 MVP seasons, but the team around him was flawed and fell to tougher, more physical Patriot squads in the mid-2000s. Furthermore, quarterbacks usually win MVP. 19 of the 23 AP MVP winners in the 21st century have been quarterbacks. But the playoffs don't necessarily reward offense. Refs let the defense get away with more, and it tends to throw the passing game out of rhythm, especially combined with colder and inclement weather. Teams with a good quarterback, a good rushing attack, and a sturdy defense are better suited to a playoff run than a team that's top-heavy at QB. Look at the Niners. And finally, bad luck. No question about it. Tom Brady lost Super Bowl 42 by 3 points. Matt Ryan, well, yeah. Peyton Manning was driving to tie Super Bowl 44 when Tracy Porter kinda stepped in front of the ball. Yeah, there's a degree of luck, but eventually the luck would have balanced out by now, right? No. Just know the curse is real, and when it comes to winning MVP, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
This is it. Kick is up. We lose.
Are you an aspiring content creator? Do you have a business? Then I have to ask you the same question I asked myself. Why don't I have a freaking website? That's where Squarespace comes in. The easiest and most practical way for you and me to build a website. I love how it gives me the options that I thought were difficult to set up. Things like an online store, membership areas, and seamless integration of my social media accounts. It's all in one place and easy to manage. Plus, for you stat nerds out there, they give you built-in analytics so you can track your success. So after this video, head on over to squarespace.com/5pointsvids to get a free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Again, that's squarespace.com/5pointsvids from the link below to get 10% off your first website or domain purchase. Squarespace.com.